rotated our cylinder here about 45 degrees. And the arrows reflect that. Z is going directly along the length of the cylinder here. So I can click and drag on the Z axis and precisely move it only in that direction. Very useful. The same holds true for rotation. You'll notice that when we switch back over to the rotate tool, our coordinate system jumps back to view. That's because the coordinate system is unique for each transform. So if we went to scale, that would have its own coordinate system. If we go to rotate, that would have its own. And the same holds true for move. So if you find yourself always rotating in the local coordinate system, you can set it and still be able to use move in the world or the view coordinate system. So it's very easy to jump between those options. So let's take another look at the rotate and just go through this for completeness. Now, if I click and drag on the green axis, or basically the y-axis in our left viewport, you'll notice how many axes it's actually rotating around because we're using our view coordinate system. Change that to local, and now I click on and drag on the y. It's much more predictable. We also have the option of clicking and dragging in between the various axes to rotate kind of freely in all three directions. We also have the option of rotating basically screen aligned. And so we have this outer gray ring. And so if we rotate around that, you'll notice that it's remaining the same in our perspective view, but it is going nuts in all the other views. And this is because we're trying to rotate it in a screen aligned fashion. Now this method is extremely useful for lining objects up with, like, say, photographs or footage and so forth, because sometimes you'll get it close and you'll have a reference object in the background and you just want to align it properly or relative to what you're seeing here. Doing so in the top, front, and left viewports can sometimes be a little bit cumbersome when you're dealing with such a complex scene or a complex environment. So when you're first starting out, this probably won't be that useful, but the other one's extremely useful. And much like with the move tool, we can always go down at the bottom here and put in explicit values. So for example, if I go over to the world coordinate system and we type in 0, 0, 0, you'll notice that it snaps back to its original form. We can click and drag on the spinners here to rotate it, or we can just type in 45, or in this case, -45, and it lines up very nice. Now let's take a look at scale. Scale, much like move and rotate, operates off of click and drag. But we have another gizmo here to work with. Now in this case, we're actually going to be using the perspective view because we already have our object aligned and we just need to do some final touches. So hopefully we won't screw it up. Now, instead of working